Hi everyone, it's Scott here from BOP, and I'm joined by the fabulous Meagan King from Methodist Ladies College over in Perth. Meagan, thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. How are you?
We're very well, thanks, Scott. Thank you for having me.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to have a chat. Now, Meagan, I guess to start with, can you tell us a bit more about your role at Methodist Ladies College and the sort of work you do?
Sure. So my role at the college is the Director of Innovation, and I work with students and teachers right from pre-primary through to Year 12. It's an inaugural role. I'm the first Director of Innovation at the college, and it was a position that was ideated by our current college principal and college council, and they really believe that this is an imperative role for the college moving into the future.
That's fantastic. And tell me, what does innovation look like at Methodist Ladies College?
So innovation looks like so many things, which I think it's a great question, and it's a question I get a lot. I think people often think that innovation means technology. It means that you're innovating in the technology space. Now, it can mean that. Innovation can definitely be technological, but innovation for us is very much embedded within pedagogy. It's all about the teaching and learning process and how we're actually moving to have a look at what we're already doing really well and make it even better for our students. We're really thinking about student outcomes and preparing our girls for the future of work and what they're going to need to take to the workforce and what kind of young women they're going to graduate as.
That's fantastic. And tell me, when it comes to preparing the MLC girls for the workforce of the future, we talk a lot about 21st century skills. Can you tell me the sort of future of work skills that you try and instill in your students?
Absolutely. So we actually have, as a really important aspect of going to MLC, the girls participate in our Walton Leadership Institute, which was named after Gertrude Walton, an amazing woman who has inspired a lot of the history and tradition at Methodist Ladies College in Claremont. And our modules that we look at through that really help, identify what sorts of young women we are producing. So our modules are communication. So we're really looking at helping our girls understand how important it is to communicate. And it's a spiral curriculum within our institute, so as that the girls from Year 5 and 6 are really building on these skills. We also look at a module influencing others, exercising judgment, negotiating, enterprise, service, and internationalism. So there's so many opportunities for the girls to think about what kind of graduate attributes they need to have. And I guess that maps back into what our traditional understanding, of that 21st century learning skills is, which is a great concept, even though we're in 2020. So I would really, peg those as contemporary learning skills. What are the things that we need to work on? So at the college, and a part of most of my innovation projects, I will be very much focused on collaboration, teamwork, thinking about the critical and the creative skills needed to participate in scenario-based design thinking. We also look at risk-taking and resilience being incredibly important skills for us to develop in our girls, and not just as a part of an innovation day or an innovation program, but a part of the pedagogical framework of the college. But this year, more than ever, has taught us that we've had to pivot really quickly. So we're teaching our girls, and we're constantly looking at how we become flexible learners. How do we, and as a staff, how have we had to respond to the needs of our girls, our college and our community? And it's been a very steep learning curve, but one which I think is going to lay the groundwork for future in education.
Fantastic. And can you tell me, when we're talking about these contemporary learning skills that you just talked about, what does that look like in the classroom? How do you try and instill these skills within your girls?
So the girls at MLC often are working on collaborative projects. We've put a lot of time into thinking about our classroom design as well, so as that they are really innovative. In our junior years, there's no teacher desks in the room. So we're also really working on that concept of the girls collaborating together and using those negotiation skills and their ability to exercise judgment, but also for our teachers to work in there and really support our girls in the teaching and learning process, rather than just having that very didactic type approach.
Fantastic. And now moving on to the Career Innovator and Inventors Lab programs. It's been a pleasure working with yourself and your team over the past few months through 2020, delivering these programs to some of your students. Can you talk a little bit further about the Career Innovator program and the Inventors Lab program that we run?
Sure. So the Career Innovator program was designed for our Year 10 students. 2020, as we all know, was a very unique time. I think people often say it's a challenging time and many other ways of explaining it, but I would say it's been a really unique opportunity in education for us to think about how we can pivot to meet the needs of our students. So our girls were not able to go out and work placement at the time when they usually did, which was right in the middle of lockdown, etc. And so we worked with Scott, yourself and your team in thinking about the type of program that would enable our girls to experience real world scenarios that they could actually then work in a team, collaborate, and come up with, critical and creative thinking, which would help them design a solution, I guess, to a real problem. I think what we found with that is working with industry experts was such a unique opportunity for the girls. Being able to engage with some amazing international companies was an awesome opportunity, but also we found getting guest speakers in was a really unique part of this program, so that our girls could be inspired. And we did tend to use or engage with lots of young entrepreneurs where the girls could really see these people as role models and young people that were doing some really inspirational things to get them thinking about their future.
Fantastic. And why was this such a priority for the college? I think we've seen a lot of schools respond in different ways to the effects of COVID-19. Why did the college decide to push ahead with giving the girls some sort of a work experience opportunity, and why did they end up choosing a program like this to do so?
Yeah, so it was a great priority for us to make sure that we were still giving our girls some really amazing opportunities to do programs, but it actually gave us a chance to flip our thinking a little bit. Obviously, you cannot replicate a program where you're going out into workplaces and, you're engaging with all different sorts of industries. But what you can do is actually give your students a really unique opportunity to be involved in business and to be involved in, as I said again, that scenario-based problem solving, where the girls are creating these amazing solutions, but they are actually getting feedback from industry experts about how this could actually work, or how some of their ideas is actually being taken into industry. And I think, again, that starts to give our students a really unique look at what the future of work is going to be like. I think what we traditionally know about work placements is challenging now. I mean, to send Year 10 students out into the workforce, they can only do a certain number of types of tasks, but to have a program like this, where they're really, again, researching, it's all research-based, and everything that we do at MLC in the innovation space is research-based. We're not following fads or going from, what's looking glossy and shiny. We're really trying to think of robust experiences for our girls that gives them that edge when they are getting ready to step out into the workforce.
Absolutely. And what sort of feedback did you get from the girls, and also too from some of the staff involved in the program?
Okay, so that was fantastic too. One of the things that I would really encourage people to do if they're working in this space in schools is to really seek honest feedback from the students and from the staff after engaging in the programs. So the girls, I think we had quite a range of feedback. Some of them definitely found it challenging. So this kind of space where you have to really deeply explore some ideas, do some really thorough research, and think about things that are quite outside of your everyday experience can be really challenging. And I guess it's not lockstep in the way that some traditional subjects are taught. So I think that, and then whilst they found it challenging, I think once they started working on their pitches and working on their solutions. They were so excited and inspired to work together on those. So I think that the real world application is the pinnacle of these types of experiences.
Absolutely. And what advice would you have to any innovative educators out there looking to push the boundaries a little bit, but also to help build those contemporary skills within their students?
I think what I would say is that it's really important to design programs that are appropriate for your community. What we don't want to design in the innovation space in education is a program that could work for anybody in any community, anywhere at any time. So the programs that we're coming up with and the series that we're coming up to are responding to things that are happening now and that are really important for that particular age group. So whilst we had Inventors Lab for our 6s and 7s, we were actually responding to what's been happening in our current communities with COVID. We were looking at all of the inventions that have come about because of COVID, and then we adapted it to their life. So we were very much looking at what kind of advice can children give to other children about staying safe, and what are some of the inventions that children can create for children that would be quite amazing in 2020. Now, next year, that program is going to look quite different. Whilst the idea, the design thinking will definitely be there, you really have to, I think, respond and make sure that it's current and relevant. I think that concept for us that I embed into all of the programs we're looking at is, that it's real, that it's relevant, and it's relatable to our girls.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time, Meagan. It's been such a pleasure for myself and the team to work with you and your team at Methodist Ladies College. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks, Scott.